Wow. Again, I'm very excited for this interview. At least you're one of the most accomplished people, actually, that I've interviewed so far. The only
Yeah.
other person who can measure up, there's still some young guys from West Africa, but they're starting a juice company in New York, and
Uh-huh.
they're having about $400,000 in revenue. So they're almost
Oh.
reaching you. Almost reaching you.
No, they're far more. They're far ahead of me. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 12 of the Student Entrepreneur Podcast. The Student Entrepreneur Podcast is a podcast where we interview students of entrepreneurship, not necessarily students in school. I mean, you can be a student in school these days. I mean, it doesn't matter, but we interview students of entrepreneurship, people who are on the rise to greatness. And I mean, they're not yet multi-billionaires, but it's very clear that they're going to be. And today's episode, you will have no doubt after you listen that Mr. Clovis Pilla is on the rise to being one of Africa's most successful, most impactful individuals ever. So when we sat down with him, we talked about a lot of issues, how he started his companies, which failures he has had, how he went through those failures, how he rose up again and started another company, how he runs that company, how he sets goals, how he forms teams, what's his work-life balance. We talked about everything, and you get to hear it firsthand from him. And you have no excuse. Now you too have to succeed.
I mean, to our listeners who don't know you, I mean, just tell us a little bit. Who are you? And why am I so impressed with you?
Well, thank you, Daniel. The pleasure is all mine. It's an honor to be in your show this evening. My name is Clovis Pilla. I am a Cameroonian. I've been living in Russia for over 12 years now, and I came here as a student 12 years ago. And currently, I'm a lecturer in the university. I lecture mechanism and machine sciences for mechanical engineers, aircraft design engineers, engine design and maintenance engineers. Parallel to that, I have a small business that we're just trying to take from the ground. Just doing our baby steps. We hope that it will come up to be something great and inspiring for us and for many of us who will have to witness our successes.
Wow. So I mean, I'm sure somebody listening now has noticed this. I mean, not only are you starting a mega company in a non-English, non-French speaking country, but you're a lecturer of mechanical engineering for aircraft design. Do you teach Africans or do you teach Russians?
No, I teach generally Russians mainly. I teach more than 90% of my students are Russians. So we take classes in Russian language, definitely, and
wow.
I've been doing that for the past 4 years. So it's something
that is a podcast episode on its own. I mean, how does a Cameroonian leave Cameroon?
Actually, we could make another podcast for that episode.
Exactly, and learn in Russia to become a lecturer. I mean, it's amazing. So you were born in Cameroon.
Yes, I was born in Cameroon, in a small village called Balekumat. I grew up, I had my childhood was in the village. Then my teenage age, I moved to Bamenda, where I did my secondary and high school educations before.
Is that the capital city?
Yeah, Bamenda is the capital city of the Northwest region. In Cameroon, we have 10 regions. And Bamenda is the capital city of one of the 10 regions.
So after your high school.
Yeah, so after my high school, I was greatly favored by God, and I got a scholarship straight immediately after my high school to travel to Russia. So I arrived in Russia on the 27th of November 2005.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
after completing my secondary education in August the same year.
Wow. You remember
It
it
was
like it was yesterday.
no, yes, those were turning points in my life. Those points will always remember them.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Well, so you're in
So
Cameroon, right? You're in high school. You're about to finish and maybe apply for scholarship. What was going on in your mind? Did you ever imagine to be where you are now? Do you have plans to build things and become a lecturer? And
before I came to Russia, my dream and my prayer to God for quite some time, like maybe about 3 years before I left Cameroon to Russia, was to study aeronautics engineering. By the way, I'm an aeronautics engineer by profession. So I hope that in a few years' time, my title will change to maybe a doctor. I hope so.
wow.
So before I left for Cameroon, I'd always dreamed to study aeronautics engineering out of the country. And I prayed for that, and I pursued every opportunity that came my way for me to be able to achieve that dream. So I had the opportunity to apply for a scholarship, and so I was successful. And so I came to Russia.
Wow. So let's just touch this a little bit because I know it has stuck in people's minds. They really can't connect it. When you enter university, the plan is enter university, study, graduate. If you are in a foreign country, options are maybe you could leave, right? How do you come from graduating to becoming a lecturer in a Russian university?
Yes, that was a very long road. You
But was
getting
it
me?
something you planned? Yes. Was it something you planned?
No, I didn't plan to be a lecturer in the Russian university. That was just how things turned out in the course of development of events. So what happened is that well, my aim actually for all I always wanted, all I ever wanted, let's say so, all I ever wanted was to be effective. All I ever wanted was to be useful, to apply myself wherever I found myself, and to make sure that I portray the spirit of excellence as God would want it to be. So that if I was serving God in my university, in the church, with my classmates, through my education, maybe in a task that I'm given in the university, or with an opportunity to participate in an event, how will I approach that? So basically, that principle is what had driven my activities over the years, and which still drive my activities till today, and I hope in the years to come. So it was as time was evolving, these things were started evolving. It's like these things, you have you close one chapter and then another chapter opens up. You successfully go through one thing and then it leads you to another, and then and so on and so on and so forth.
This is maybe something that people that are standing by would call luck, right? They'll look at you from afar and say, Clovis is lucky, right? Were you just lucky, or were you somehow prepared for some of these opportunities that have come your way?
Yes. There's a saying that luck comes to only those who are prepared. I don't know who said that. I don't remember exactly, but I believe in the fact that wherever you are, you always have to be ready for opportunities to find you at the right time and the right point. So if you don't work on yourself, you don't make any effort, you will not achieve anything. God's favor is there. God's grace is always available for us, but God's part is God's part, and we have our own part to play in God's plan. So we get to be we get to achieve great successes or make great achievements in our lives when the two components work hand in hand, faith and works. Yes. So no, I was not lucky. I was definitely favored by God, but he was not luck. It was not something that fell on my laps.
This is the whole episode of this one, so I won't touch that one anymore. I'll just move on.
Yes.
So Clovis Corp, it's like if they say a picture says 1,000 words, but if anybody is to visit the Clovis Corp website or the Clovis Corp Facebook page, those pictures they say 100,000 words. I mean, tell us about that. Was it something? Is it the first entrepreneur thing or company that you started? Do you have maybe some successes or failures before that? Or did you wake up in the morning, got this brilliant idea, went out, executed, and everything just happened? I mean, what's the story?
Yes. Well, Clovis Corporation, thank you, by the way, for the kind words. I'm glad that there are some people out there who appreciate the work we do here. We still have a lot to do. In fact, we are not yet at the standard that we need to be.
Wow.
We're trying our best. Pray that we'll reach there one day, hopefully sooner than we expect. But my journey in entrepreneurship has been for at least 4 years now. Well, I mean, like corporate kind of entrepreneurship, like with incorporation of a company, it's almost close to 4 years now. Before that, I've tried a lot of things and failed. I've tried a lot of things. I've had a lot of failures. I've even had disappointments. There was a point where I lost everything. Like, wow. Everything basically. You know, I used to listen to interviews of billionaires, and they will say how they have lost everything several times in their lifetimes. I never used to understand.
You didn't understand it practically.
I've experienced one of those episodes.
Wow.
And well, one would say that maybe for consolation that maybe that was the last time I lost everything in my life. But I believe that if for us to walk by faith, we must always take risk, and there's no guarantee for the fact that there's no guarantee that you will not experience setbacks. Okay. But setbacks usually are what prepare you for the next level of success. So I tried. What are the things I tried before? I tried trading. Well, I'm still in trading now. But what I used to do, like the first venture I did was I bought electronics from Russia and I went to Cameroon to sell. I did that for about 2 years. That was 2011, 2012, 2013. I did that for 3 years. Yes, it was not effective. It was not giving me the results that I wanted, and I lost a lot of money there, and I got into debt because of bad faith and stuff.
Wow.
Then well, that was only bad faith. It was poor management. I was not prepared. I didn't know what's financial management. I didn't know what's financial discipline. You know, I thought that for you to do business, the first thing you need is money, which actually it is not. So he got me into a lot of setbacks, financial setback, which I regret till today. But anyway, that's experience, right, for future. So I'm grateful that now I cannot make those kind of mistakes again, because, you know, experience the best teacher. Yes. Then from at that moment, when I came to the understanding that okay, that was not working the way I wanted to work it, because it was not scalable. In the way the approach that I had was not scalable, because it was practically. No, it was just kind of this. Someone asks you something, you buy it and sell it to the person. It was not like something that you can scale. Because there was no legal platform to be able to scale such a thing. So that's when I thought of something else. In the year 2014, the first thing that came to my mind was maybe importing or exporting something from Russia importing something to Russia. So I looked at the options that I had, and at the moment, the first thing that came to my mind was importing natural rubber, to Russia. The natural rubber is basically the raw material for one of the major raw materials for tires, and all forms of technical rubber. Technical rubber, like you have, so like car tires, most of them like at least about 30%, 40% natural rubber, and Cameroon produces it.
So let me ask, were you just, I mean, is it because you're an engineer, or how do you sit down and this idea comes into your head, let me import natural rubber?
There's no formula for that. It's just like you sit down and think, you just think like, what are the resources that you have? What can you do with what you have? Okay. But then I was in the university, or then I was already an engineer. I was officially employed in the university as an engineer. I had a day job, and I understood that I was not applying my potentials to the fullest. You remember I said earlier that all I ever wanted was just to be effective, right? Use the resources that I have to be effective. That's all I ever wanted, and that's all I want today. So everything I do, that's the highest goal I pursue, to be of some value and to be effective in what I do. So I discovered that I was actually just wasting away. I had gained weight. I had reached my let's say the peak. In the university, everyone was just in awe of Clovis. Clovis is that. Clovis is this. Clovis is wonderful. Clovis is that. So on. I would say a foreigner is now university. He's working officially. He's such an excellent guy. Oh, that's all I was hearing all over the place.
You needed
I understood
to grow.
Yes, exactly. So I understood that I couldn't grow again at that level. So that's when I started searching. Okay, what is the next thing I could do that would challenge me and that could give me the opportunity to grow again? Okay, so that is when now I thought of entrepreneurship. That's when I thought of doing something. I thought of doing something now on a legal platform, since I understood that doing it just personally, individually, is not legal, it's not scalable, and I was not interested in that kind of entrepreneurship. So now I was thinking of something that is really tangible, something that could add value, and something that could grow with time and be scaled. Yes, so I started with rubber. The rubber project failed. I spent huge sums of money, maybe close to maybe around $10,000 to $15,000.
Wow.
In trying to develop the project. We traveled to Cameroon with a Russian partner. We did a lot of things, made connections, calls, and so on. We setting up the company. So I said that was the first company I incorporated. So it was called Clovis Caoutchoucs. That was the name of the company. So it was meant to import. The main activity we were supposed to do was to import natural rubber to Russia and to sell to Russian tire manufacturing companies. Yes. So that project failed. It was a total fiasco in the sense that we invested a lot of money. I invested a lot of money, a lot of time and effort. I even employed someone who was working on, and it all turned out to be negative because we understood that at the point I didn't have enough resources to pull it through. So it was a business that needed much more resources, maybe on the order of maybe 10 times or 20 times more resources than I could
master at the time.
Yes, so I had to adapt.
Well, okay. So at this point, let me ask this question, because most of us, right, we suffer from this very thing. You're doing something, it's not working. You clearly understand that you can't really do anything for it at this point, but you can't stop, or you can't get out, or you can't adapt. How did you master the energy or make the decision to say, let me stop?
Yes, well, that was a tough thing to do. But I want to say that it's never easy to take such decisions. It was just the fact that you understood that you cannot survive otherwise. Okay, that is either the dream dies or you change. It's either you change or you die. kind of situation where you understand that, you're expecting to get some deals, you're expecting to get some contracts, you're expecting to get some sales, you're expecting some revenues. A business cannot survive without revenue. So when you have only expenditure for more than 6 months, and you are looking ahead based on what you have done and the information you've gathered about the market, you understand that it's not possible at the level of resource that you have to be able to achieve that goal that you have. So I had to adapt. So I adapt. So I was pursuing. So what I did was that I was pursuing the rubber while gradually shifting to the next venture, which was coffee. Which is what I'm doing now. By the way, for those who don't know, we mentioned Clovis Corp. Clovis Corp is a short form of Clovis Corporation, and what we basically do now is trading of coffee. At the moment, we hope to diversify to other products like cocoa, groundnuts and stuff. So that's the first line of direction that we are in. And second line of direction is consulting for businesses who want to maybe invest in Cameroon or invest in other African countries. So with my expertise as an African, knowing three internationally recognized languages, I can be able to be a perfect middleman for someone who doesn't know English or French to try to set up something in Africa. So that is the other line of activity that I'm also pursuing. So gradually I started shifting gradually now from rubber to coffee. So in a space about 3 months. So for that I had to invest again some more money into the business, maybe about more than about $1,500. Even I didn't have the money at the time. I had to find someone and plead with him to invest or to lend me the money to do so, which I don't advise anyone to do. So I lended some money and I got samples of the coffee to Russia, a good amount of it, which then I was able now to then distribute to potential clients. So by now we're December 2015, like that. November, December 2015, like that. I was transitioning to rubber to coffee. Yes, so those were now things are tough, but then it was tougher because I had no money, I had no revenue, I had nothing. It was just.
So how did you remain motivated? What kept you going at that time? Because you're not back home in Cameroon, right? You're not probably surrounded by a lot of friendly faces, right? So how do you stay the track? How do you not just, resign to your? You still had the teaching job. Why don't you just resign and just be comfortable? By the way, and live a quiet life?
That was one of the best strategic moves I've ever did in my life. Like I adjusted my timetable in the university in such a way that I would have time to develop the business. So usually maybe if I'm in the university for 3 hours or 4 hours today or 5 hours, when I leave, I just go to meet my team. We sit there, we work and deliberate and do calculations, make analysis and stuff. So up to around 11 p.m. Like there was time I was working to 11 p.m. continuously for more than 1 year.
Wow.
Yes, like I was working non-stop. And you have to study a lot of things. You have to develop yourself. If you don't know something, you find out how to do it and getting to know the Russian language. Now, like this, the information I have about economics, about finances, about law, for example, I think that I'm a more qualified lawyer than a graduate of a standard graduate of a Russian university with a bachelor's degree, because you're seeing that there's a lot of information you must understand, you must get to protect your business, to do things the right way, and to make sure you do things according to the law, so you don't get into any unforeseen circumstances. And even in spite of that, still you still get into unforeseen circumstances. Yeah. So the strategic move, what kept me going? What I was doing, even though tough, was resonating with my heart, with my innermost essence, person who I am and what I want to do, who I want to become. So no, it was in phase with me. There was no conflict, in my spirit about what I was doing. Even though it was tough, I would still get up and go to the office early at 7. Wow. And I will still get up and I will still come back from the office late at 8, at 9 p.m. That is it. The assurance that you're doing the right thing, the innermost assurance in your heart that what you are doing resonates with who you are, or at least with who you want to become. So I guess that's the best inspiration. That one if it resonates with you, then you should do it. But if you feel that it's not yours, if you feel that that's not something you could be proud of, if it succeeds, if you are not sure of it, then that's when you can then lose passion. That's when you can then give up at some point. Even though if you are doing something and it's not working, there's no shame in acknowledging the fact that it's not working and trying to find another thing that is working and that could work and do.
You mentioned a few things that you had to come across or learn the hard way, right? Financial literacy. You've said you've become very acquainted with law, right? I mean, what are some of the things that you think, especially young Africans, right? Like if you really are looking at wanting to enter entrepreneurship, what are some of the must-haves or the must-knows, things somebody should at least, before dreaming of $1 million, they should know?
Yes. Well, as far as getting into a business is concerned, the first thing that someone must know is to know that it is not a sprint. Okay. Yes, it's not something that you work on for 6 months and become a millionaire. That is, yes. So if you are into it, be ready for the long haul. Yes. If you have passed that test, if you have asked yourself that hard question and you know that you are ready for the long haul. All right. The next thing now is to find out to understand how the business works. Okay. What I mean by how the business works is how to connect the dots, because in business you have different areas. Okay. First of all, you have two main areas: expenditures and then revenues. Okay. So you have to understand those elements, those aspects of the business pretty well. What do you have to put in, right? And where is the revenue going to come from? When will it come? And how it will come. Now, when you understand those aspects, then now you can then begin to go deeper now into things like maybe market research. Who are your competitors? How is the market built? How are you going to generate those revenues? And so on. How are you going to position your business, your company, and all those things. Then there's another aspect again. When we're talking of expenditures, you also have to think about where you're going to get the resources to spend. Talking of investment. So you have to figure out how you are going to attract funds or generate the funds that you need to invest into the business. So those things you have to understand them. Or even if you don't understand them all at once, you should be ready to to investigate those areas, to study those areas, to get to understand and learn those things as you get closer, get deeper and deeper into the business. Yes.
Wow. So let me take it to a lighter side a little bit. How do you, first of all, do you ever relax? And if you do, how do you do it? Do you ever stop?
Yeah, we have to relax, bro. We have to relax because we are human beings.
So what's one of your favorite or go-to ways to unwind?
At the moment I feel that I'm in a season in my business where I just need to constantly be focused.
So I want to ask this question: what thing or what gadget or what service or what object maybe are you currently in this season in your life really attached to, really in love with, you cannot do without, it really helps you, that is so useful to you?
Yes. Well, there are two gadgets that I have that practically they are always with me wherever I go. That's my laptop or my phone. Yes. So wherever I go, if I have my laptop and my phone, I am ready to work.
Wow.
So for me, I'm always ready to work everywhere. So since I understand that sometimes it's not possible to carry the laptop with me, I've tried to transfer some of the work to my mobile phone. So I've learned to use some of the tricks of the mobile phone. Like before, I used to send emails only through the laptop, but now I understand that there are sometimes that you can't wait to reach the laptop before you send an email. So I had to understand how to send an email through my phone very fast and stuff.
Wow. So yes. I would make this assumption, right, that in the sphere of business that you're in, somebody has to have a lot of relationships, right? A lot of connections, especially I imagine. I mean, they show us in the movies people who import and export things. They know people at the border. They know people at the, So what are some of your tips or that you've learned or you've come up with that have helped you to network and make long-lasting, useful business relationships?
Yes, exactly. For me, that is a very, very powerful question. I love opportunities where I could meet some people that I've never met before. And especially if it's an opportunity to meet people who are also interested in business. Business is all about relationships. Relationships, that's all about it, because without it, it's really difficult to really achieve some real results, because you have to learn how to build relationships between human beings. So the tips, the things I have done in the past that have yielded me much fruit is first to have a reputation. Okay, a reputation that precedes you. Okay, yes, that one is worth more than diamond and gold. It is worth more than $1 billion investment. A clean reputation. I don't mean like a reputation like to show that you are just, that you are fair, that you are honest, that you are hardworking. Just simple things, right? It's like those are things that actually, when you're doing it, you may feel that okay, why should I be like this? So no one is seeing it. How will I gain from this? But actually, all mounts up and mounts up and mounts up. It's like some kind of a boomerang effect. So it mounts up. So if you are in an event, you are polite, you smile to people, you are open, you approach people and talk to them. The way you make people feel, if you make people feel well around you, they always like to be around you. So that has helped a lot in developing relationships that have greatly influenced my business positively. Complainers are people who have it very tough in business. Like people who are outright proactive. in the way they do things. Those people who take responsibility, those are the people who will move forward. So if a businessman is around you, he notices that, he will see you, he will identify it. You may not feel that he has noticed it, but he has noticed it, and later along the line, if we discovered actually those things that even though seemed minor at the time you were doing, that actually were determining factors to why you started building that business relationship. Someone like you, you're very optimistic. You're always smiling. You're always positive.
I mean,
so
sometimes it's all you have. And you have to run with it.
Indeed. So when that's all you have, then you work with it.
Yeah, it's true. Wow. Yes. So there is this question I ask the people that I'm privileged to interview, right? So you go back to Cameroon, right? Maybe this year in summer after, of course, you enjoy the World Cup. And, the mayor of your city, of your capital city, or the president says, you know what, Mr. Clovis, for your contribution to the economy of Cameroon, we are giving you this billboard in the center of the city, and you have the opportunity to write or to have written anything you want on it, right? And it's going to stay for the next 100 years. What would you have written on that billboard? Any statement of your choice.
Oh my God, that is tough. What would I say? If I really want to say something that will affect people, that will be of some real significance, my thing is to love. Is to love and to be driven by love. Yes. Because, why do I say so? Because there's a lot of negativity around us. In fact, the world in which we are living in is full of a lot of unfortunate things that happen. So the least we could do is just do what we can do at our level to add some level of positivity to what is happening, to be some source of hope, some source of beacon to ourselves and to those that look up to us or those that we can influence.
But it's very interesting. When I was interviewing the Ibrahim from the Jinjan Bros, I told you about them, the guys from New York.
Yes.
I asked him this question, so I'm going to ask you this question since you guys are flying in the same stratosphere. If now you somebody can say that you basically have your hands full, right? The company is growing, it's moving, so you really can't try so many things, right?
Yes,
but my experience is that entrepreneurs like yourself, you always have ideas swimming around your heads. They're just there. They're just there on autopilot, right? So if you are not doing this particular thing that you're doing now, right, whether here in Russia or back in Africa, what would you do? What are some of the great ideas that you think whose time has come? And somebody could, for example, try it out.
If I was not selling coffee now, maybe I was working on setting up a factory somewhere.
All right. And what would this factory be making?
Well, at the moment, I think that this factory will be producing construction materials. And this factory maybe will be based somewhere in Africa, where maybe in Cameroon, since I know Cameroon, I know how I can set up such a thing in Cameroon.
You're not afraid of Dangote cement?
Well, on the contrary, I'm inspired.
Inspired, wow. Wow. One man's fear is another man's inspiration.
Those are one of my projects that are just behind my back. I've been studying it. I know how it works. What is left only now is to figure out the sales. Okay. Yes. So usually, you know the sales. If you are setting up a business, the sales is the locomotive. Yes. So even though you have this, you don't start with sales, but at the end of the day, sales should take over to driving the business forward.
So the last question, though I don't want this interview to end, I would like it to go for 5 hours. but you're a busy man. So the last question, and it touches something I've already asked, but I'll ask it again. Also, I want to really bring it from a controversial side of it, by asking if we're taking a scale of 1 to 10, or let's make it percentages, 1 to 100%. How much of the current success that you have now, and we know you're going to have in the future, do you attribute to luck, right? And how much of it can you attribute to hard work? How much of it do you attribute to being a good person, church-going Christian? And how much do you attribute it to, like you mentioned, being in a position for God to fulfill, to join what you have done to what He can do to give you a result? What percentage is that?
What percentage is that?
How much of it is just magic?
0% is magic. Yes, that for sure. Okay. As far as how much is it is God and how much is it is me, I will say that it is 100% God and it is 100% me. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that you have to work really, really hard, as well as you have to depend that God will favor you and give, and also have faith that your efforts are going to be granted with success. Okay, and be patient and be consistent and be persistent in what you are doing. Yes, so that's it. It's 100%.
How do you consume information?
Yes. So reading is not my strong suit. So it is difficult for me to read books. So actually what I do is that if there's a topic that I want to know and learn something about it, I find articles. Okay. Yes. So over the years, I've read thousands and thousands of articles in different topics. Okay, because I can start, because for me, I absorb information that is complete. Like I start it and I finish it, then I absorb it, I compartmentalize it, and I see how I can apply it. But at some point, I understood that was not enough. That I need to know more. I need to read more. I need to get more information, because I understood that I hit some challenges that at some point I understood that if I had known something more, then those challenges would have been easier to overcome. Okay, what I'm still working on now, which I've developed for the past, let's say from the beginning of this year, is listening to audio books. So like maybe for the past month, I've listened to some few books. That's what I do. So like I listen to books about entrepreneurship, listen to book about management, listen to book about human resource management, listen to books about sales, I listen to books about mentality, listen to book about setting goals, and so on. So that's it.
Wow. So the question that people will finish me, and that will be the end of my podcasting career if I don't ask. You said Clovis Corp, finest coffee from Africa. Do you only sell it to corporations or to Russians, or to, how can, can simple people like some of us get our hands on it?
Oh my God! Yes, of course. Our goal is to bring good quality coffee to simple citizens like you and me, and to make you have a positive energy, have a smile because you tasted something that is good. I get a lot of fulfillment from that.
All right. So I'm in Moscow, I'm in Kazan, I'm in St. Petersburg, I'm in Ukraine, for example, or I'm in Uganda. I mean, what are the chances, or how do I?
Yeah, so at the moment, right? Well, it is possible to get our coffee in Moscow. It's possible to get our coffee in St. Petersburg, Well, in Kazan, it's not yet. We are working hard on that day and night. We sell mainly at the moment. We sell mainly to corporate clients. Maybe over 90%. Over 90% of our sales are corporate, and then we have maybe 10% to consumers, direct to consumers. But we are working on that, and we'll make sure that it's possible to get the coffee wherever you are, wherever you are, from wherever you are in the world. Maybe within the next maybe 6 months, I hope.
Wow.
We hope that will be
right about the time we're going to be having our third podcast interview.
Yes. Indeed.
Wow. So you have a website, cloviscorp.org, and there is a place there where people can write to your organization and ask questions about how to order from where they are. All this information, of course, we're going to put it out there. It's going to be attached to this episode, so people will be able to get it. So now I'm really serious. This is the last one. Right? Somebody could be listening and they say, wow, I'm so inspired. I want to add value to Mr. Clovis and what he's doing. Maybe here in Russia or back in Cameroon. If somebody felt that way, right? What could they do, for example?
Yes, I understand. Well, if there's anything anyone would like to do, maybe you should support me with sales. Okay. Yes. Now
social media, maybe.
Now my number one priority is sales. Okay. Yes. So, if there's anything you could do to support me with sales, I have social media. I have my website. Also there are various platforms we could use to do marketing. If there's anything that anyone could do to help me with sales or marketing, that would go a long way to help.
Wow, that's great. Yes. So I'm assuming that on the Clovis Corp Facebook page, there is a place for messaging. Somebody can send a message there and get further details on how to be a part of that.
Definitely. So that is that. So even at the moment, we're hiring. By the way, we are hiring.
Wow.
So
shocker after shocker. Wow.
Yes. So please, if you have some suitable candidates, you can always send our direction.
Wow.
We're hiring and.
Wow. So what kind of people are you looking for? You never know. Somebody could be listening to this and they're like, wow, this is the call I've been waiting for.
So as I was saying, my number one priority now is sales. So definitely we're looking for salesmen. Yes, so who could sit constantly and working on proposing our products to our potential clients and making sure that we get the revenues flowing.
I mean, you're already a provider of employment and labor. You're already, and then you're also shaping young minds in the university.
Yeah, try doing what we can do at our level by God's grace.
Wow, amazing. Well, thank you very much. Personally, I'm very happy, very inspired. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, my brother Daniel. It's a pleasure. It's a delight. Thank you for the honor, for the opportunity to share my experiences with your platform. I really hope that your audience will love what we've shared today and will even love your platform more and come visit your platform and make use of it more and more.
They have to love it. Otherwise, I'll change it to Chinese language. I'll give it to the Chinese.
Yeah, okay. We hope that in that case it's definite they're loving it.
Yes. Wow.
Well, I don't want to say I told you so, but I kind of did tell you so, that this episode was going to be amazing, very motivational, very educational. I have a wonderful time every time I talk to Mr. Clovis, and he's doing great things. So very soon, in the coming days, we're going to put out a promotion that has to do with Clovis Corp, right? So for those of you that follow us on Instagram and Facebook, you're going to get to know about it fast. Actually, let me do it like this. We're going to post it in our Facebook group, then later post it on our Facebook page and then Instagram. So If you join our Facebook group, you'll get to know about the opportunities that the Student Entrepreneur Podcast and Clovis Corp have cooked up for you. And then if you do not, it's okay, but you get to know about these opportunities later. So first, you have to listen to the podcast till the end. Then you have to know about it. Then you have to join the group and to find out. That's how it is. Good things are usually hidden. Thank you very much, guys, for listening. I mean, it's always a pleasure from me and the whole team at the Student Entrepreneur Podcast. Talk to you on the next one. By the way, it's going to be amazing. We're going to go a little bit away from entrepreneurship into philanthropy, charity, and just making impact.